Hello and welcome to Viewpoint. I'm Volodymyr Solokhub. Join me now to discuss the exhibition of our platform Izolacja from Donetsk in Berlin is Communications Director Ms. Anna Medvedeva. Ms. Anna Medvedeva, welcome to Viewpoint.
Thank you for inviting.
Ms. Medvedeva, just in mid-January, your exhibition of your art platform started in Berlin. It's still ongoing. Tell us how the people are taking the art objects which you brought to Berlin, the installations.
Well, before visiting Berlin, we were quite anxious about the reaction, about some possible provocations from the part of Russian community in Berlin, in Germany. Anyhow, it went smoothly. It went fine. I mean, the opening of the exhibition, the installation, the communications, and the only exception refers to some comments left on the website of Deutsche Welle, because the Russian service of Deutsche Welle covered the opening of the exhibition, and they paid more attention to the political aspect of the project. And but we consider these comments as posts made by Kremlin so-called trolls.
Yeah, there are a lot of trolls in the media right now. You said that you consider this as a political statement, as a political act. Tell us more about that.
The exhibition itself is a strong message to the international community. Needless to say that Ukraine has disappeared from news in Europe, and the events like ours, they serve reviving this interest to Ukraine, to the fact that we are still amidst the conflict, and this conflict was launched by Russia. So the exhibition is an informational event, which is represented mainly by the documentaries, videos, interviews, and all these stories, they are about different views on the conflict. So you can choose, actually. So you can see the videos with the terrorists, with people who occupied the territory of Izolacja in Donetsk. You can consider the voices of young generation from Donbass, journalists, activists who were forced to leave the territory. And besides, we have the opinions of people, journalists and artists who were imprisoned in Donetsk for their free opinions, for their artistic statements, and so on.
Yeah, Ms. Medvedeva, I understand that one of such artists who was imprisoned in Donetsk, who was taken captive by the militants, is Mr. Serhiy Zakharov. He showcased some of his works in Berlin as part of your exhibition. Tell us how the works of Serhiy Zakharov were received by the German public. So
we actually, as the team, came to the installation, to the opening. The exhibition is still in view, so let us wait till the end of the exhibition. But to date, what we saw during the opening, it was a huge interest to some characters, because the art piece created by Serhiy Zakharov features 15 leaders of the so-called republics as huge cards. And the whole installation comprises of these 15 cards.
Yeah, this installation which you're talking about is the House of Cards, yeah, where these are like huge cards, basically, yeah, depicting the Russia-backed militants, and he's building a house out of these cards, and then he knocks one card, and everything falls down as a symbol that everything which is now existing in Donetsk is very fragile.
Yeah, it's worth mentioning that the corn store card, Joker, features Vladimir Putin. So this character is quite recognizable in Germany, sorry. And the idea is, the metaphor is to pull out this card, and then the whole construction falls apart. So it's clear that the principles of this DPR and Lugansk People's Republic, they are based only on the power of this person. And it was well perceived. This message was clear, and the audience was happy that they've got the artist who was brave enough to say this openly in Donetsk back to 2014 and to keep on doing such projects not only in Kiev but in Germany, which is under huge influence of Russian propaganda.
Again, Ms. Medvedev, going back to the reactions of the viewers, of the people who came to see the exhibition, who came to see the installation, did they understand these metaphor of the House of Cards, that by merely taking one card, everything falls apart, or you had to explain everything? No,
definitely it was clear, and we welcomed many people, including activists, curators, artists from Germany, Ukraine, Belarus, but also from Russia. And it was clear, and people welcomed this gesture when the Putin's card was pulled out. It was nice, and it was really clear. Yeah.
What are your further plans? Obviously, you're expanding. The art platform. You relocated from Donetsk back in 2014. I understand you are now spread across several locations. So, how is contemporary relocated art doing in Kyiv, in Ukraine, right now?
This is a good question. After the seizure, we considered ourselves as a team, as an institution which was forcibly displaced.
You were internally displaced art.
Yeah. And thus we came to a conclusion that we are in exile, which is quite pessimistic. So we lived with this concept several months, and then we switched to another model. Like, we are from Donbass, and Donbass is a region which is noted for nomads. And so we, at the moment, think that we are like nomads, and we live without tying to a certain position, to a certain place. Thus, we have three geographical directions, not locations. One direction is linked to the projects in Kiev. We have iZone, the creative community, and the exhibition space. Besides, we have a lot of activities in the east of Ukraine. And we also act globally. So we have the projects like Culture and Conflict, Izolation in Exile. We conducted a project during the Venice Biennial, and we have plans actually to present Ukraine, or to present Izolation, we will see, during the Architecture Biennial in Venice this year. But it's a little bit complicated with our authorities and so on. It's a very corrupt system, but we hope that we would be able to present Ukraine in a proper manner.
Yeah, Ms. Medvedev, talking a little bit about the authorities. How is the Ukrainian government and how are the municipal authorities here in Kyiv helping or hindering your operations?
Well, actually, they don't care about us, as well as about all internal displaced persons, actually. Actually, we had only some resistance, and not in Kiev, but in Kramatorsk and in some other cities in east of Ukraine, because it's not in use that many people in local authorities, they are still represented by this old generation, by people who were not against Yanukovych and his regime. And
basically the people who were the separatists.
Yeah. So these people, for instance, like in Kramatorsk, they didn't want the House of Cards in the city because probably these characters, these caricatures, they are too offensive for them. But I wouldn't say it was like too bad, but it happened, yeah.
So, well, looks like indeed some big struggles for you, for your art platform, and for internally displaced people in general. Ms. Anna Medvedeva, many thanks for finding the time to come and talk to us.
Thank you.
Communications Director of an art platform, Izolation. We were discussing the contemporary art exhibition in Berlin of an art platform relocated from the war-torn Donetsk. I'm Vladimir Sologub. Thank you for watching Viewpoints.